Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good. So today I had seen a post this morning actually saying, how do they come to, how do they diagnose for Meniere's? Basically, I can't repeat it verbatim. So basically, it's a process of symptoms and elimination of stuff. There's no blood test. There's no definitive thing that runs right to it. Even though there are some people that think like you can get a genetics test and it'll tell you exactly what's wrong with you. I don't buy that, um, and I won't buy it until I see some definitive proof and not just somebody literally taking someone else's information and claiming it as his own. But it's basically the process of elimination. Okay. First thing you do, you go to a doctor. Okay. You don't go on Facebook, join a group because you got dizzy, and then diagnose yourself. You go to a doctor. You might have to go to your primary care to get a referral to an ENT, but eventually you're going to go to an ENT, an otolaryngologist, or a neurootologist. And they're going to do a series of tests, and it's a process of elimination. Okay? So the first test they're probably going to do is an MRI with contrast and without. And the reason why they're doing this MRI is because they're looking for an acoustic neuroma. It's a tumor that can go on the balance nerve and the acoustic nerve. And those nerves are like this. They're on top of each other. So that's what they're looking for, to make sure there's no tumor in there. Because if there is, then they can go in, take the ear off, drill, do whatever they got to do, clip it out, you're done. You know, you might have hearing loss in that ear, you might be deaf in that ear afterwards, depending upon the surgeon or how bad it is inside once they get in there. But hey, you won't be getting vertigo anymore. Um, and then they'll do a CAT scan as well because that focuses right onto, or a CT scan, that focuses right onto the cochlear. And sometimes they do that with dye as well. Now I know Mass Eye and Ear Infirmary in Boston does what's known as a Meniere's MRI. I don't really understand it. When I read it, the only really thing I could think of what was different about it is that they use a different type of dye. Um, and then they will send you for what is known as a VNG/ECOG test. And that's basically to test your balance. Okay? To see what deficiencies there are in the balance. Is it both ears? Is it one ear? Is it this? Is it that? And it's basically they stick goggles on you and you watch a red light go by and you track it with your eye and they're trying to see the timing. They're looking for nystagmus, all this stuff because your eyes are part of your balance system. Okay, I basically balance with my eyes. Okay, if I close my eyes, I'm gonna start weaving. Okay, see, I got my eyes closed and I'm sitting down. So you balance with your eyes too. Your eyes are part of that. So they're checking that. And then depending upon who's doing the test, they'll do cold air, hot air in this ear, cold air, hot air in this ear, or water. And they make sure to see how that goes. Because you've got a bunch of things connected to you. So that's the other thing they do. And then they do a hearing test. And a hearing test is basically they're looking to see if your hearing loss is low frequency. Because that's particularly what Meniere's starts out as. The low frequency hearing loss. So see what the hearing loss is. The last hearing test I had, I'm 100% deaf in this ear from a labyrinthectomy. But the last time I did a hearing test on this ear, I was down to about 25% hearing. So yeah, I do have a hearing aid in this ear. Ta-da! And so I can hear pretty well. I don't know if you guys can pick up my grandson in the bathtub in the background, but I can. um, but that's how they eliminate. This is the process of eliminating. Okay? Because the other thing too is symptoms can be similar. Like vestibular migraine in Meniere's, it can be similar. As a matter of fact, it's a spectrum. Okay, because you usually don't get the hearing loss with vestibular migraine. You don't get the tinnitus with vestibular migraine. You can, but you usually don't. You don't get the vertigo. Oh, you do get the vertigo. You get it for like, it's not as long. It's like minutes. Um, and so it's on that spectrum. So that's one of the ways they tell, because you usually won't have a balance problem with that. Okay, um, you'll get the vertigo, but you won't get it as long, and you won't have the balance problems and the hearing loss. So that's it. You know, that's how they come up with it. There's no blood test. There's no blood test like for prostate cancer or other cancers or even diabetes. There's a blood test. There's no blood test. Thyroid problem. They'll give you a blood test for thyroid problem too, because they want to make sure your thyroid's okay, because that can cause vertigo as well, I guess. Um, and of course they'll check your blood pressure because that can cause vertigo, but not long lasting. That's usually when you're picking yourself up off the ground and the room goes like this for a second. But they will check your thyroid, make sure that's okay, because that will cause problems and it can cause vertigo. So that's it in a nutshell. That's how they come up with how you get Meniere's disease, how you have Meniere's disease. I should say get it, because they no matter who you talk to, they really don't know how people get Meniere's disease. There's theories. It's viral, hereditary, autoimmune, head injuries, all kinds of things. Even some people do think it's genetic, but in order for genetic, to me, if it's genetics, you have to have somebody else in the family that has it. And I have nobody in my family, neither side, mother's side, father's side, even them. Like my father's mother and father, I went back that far on that side. Nobody ever had it. On my mother's side, I didn't get to go back that far because they're all gone. That would know. So, uh, yeah, I'm the only one. I'm like Tigger. I'm the only one. um, so yeah, there's a hereditary thing, genetic thing. Um, but that's it. So just wanted to make a quick video. I know I've made these before, but you know, maybe this will help somebody. And that's what my channel is all about, helping people. It isn't about becoming number one. It isn't about making money. It's not about, anything like that. It's just helping people the way I wish I had somebody helping me when I first started. I mean, I did have someone, but I still have that someone. She's a very, very good friend of mine, even to this day. But to have a channel too, YouTube channel that I can reference, um, would have been awesome. It probably would have been awesome for her too. So on that note, I will talk to you all later. Have a great weekend and stay spam free if you can. I'll talk to you later. Bye.